Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever stopped to think about how you actually get your ideas, your words, your clicks, your commands into a computer? It feels so simple, but there's this whole world of technology making it happen. That technology is all about input devices, and today we're going to break down exactly how they work.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start by figuring out what talking to computers even means. Then we'll hit the big two, the keyboard and mouse. After that, we'll explore how we get stuff from the real world, like photos and your voice, onto your machine. We'll look at some cool, specialized gear, pull it all together so it makes sense, and then wrap up with a little activity you can do yourself.
All right, so let's start with the big picture. We've got these incredible thoughts and instructions in our heads, and then we have these super powerful computers. But how do you connect them? How do we get what's in our brain into that machine in a way it can actually process?
That really is the central question, isn't it? A computer, by itself, is just a box. It's an amazing box, full of circuits for sure, but it can't do anything until we tell it what to do. To write a paper, play a game, or just browse the web, we need a way to give it instructions. And that brings us to the hero of our story today. And the answer is an input device. The simplest way to think about it is like a translator. It's any physical piece of gear that takes what we do in the real world, like pressing a key, moving our hand, or speaking, and turns it into a digital signal that the computer gets. It's the bridge between us and the machine.
So, where do we start? Well, with the absolute classics. The two devices you're probably using at this very moment. They're the bedrock of how we use computers, the keyboard and the mouse.
First up, the good old keyboard. Its main job is pretty obvious, right? We use it to type words. But it's so much more than that. It's also how we issue direct commands and use keyboard shortcuts, like, hitting Control-C to copy something. It's our main way of literally writing to the computer.
And right alongside it, you've got its partner in crime, the mouse. The mouse is all about interacting with what you see on the screen. It's based on this incredibly simple but powerful idea. You use it to point at something, you select it with a click, and then you manipulate it. You drag it, you open it, you move it. It makes everything visual and intuitive.
Okay, typing and pointing are essential, but what about when we want to take something from our physical world and get it into the computer? That's where this next group of devices comes in. They're all about digitizing our world.
Let's start with the scanner. You could think of a scanner as basically a photocopier that's connected to your computer. It takes a physical thing, like a family photo or an important form, and it turns it into a digital file. Suddenly, that piece of paper can be saved, emailed, and edited on your PC.
Now, if a scanner gives your computer eyes to see documents, then a microphone gives it ears. It's designed to capture audio, whether that's your voice on a Zoom call, you dictating a note instead of typing it, or even recording music. It brings sound into the digital realm.
And to round out the computer's senses, we have the webcam. This little camera gives the computer vision. It captures live video of you, which is the magic behind every video call, every online class, and every virtual meeting that's become such a huge part of our lives.
Okay, so we've covered the basics, but let's be honest, sometimes you need a very specific tool for a very specific job. That's where specialized input devices come into play. The touchpad is a perfect example. For most of us, it's that handy little square on our laptop that replaces a mouse. Super convenient. But for a digital artist, a high-end pressure-sensitive touchpad and a special pen become this incredible canvas for creating amazing artwork.
And of course, for all the gamers out there, we have the joystick. Look, you can play a game with a keyboard and mouse, but nothing beats a joystick for that immersive feeling of control, especially in a flight simulator or a racing game. It's all about that precise, intuitive, directional input that just feels right.
So, we've just thrown a whole bunch of different gadgets at you. Let's take a quick pause and organize all of this into a simple chart so we can see how everything fits together.
When you see it all laid out, it becomes really clear. Each device is a master of its own domain. For any kind of text, the keyboard is king. For pointing and clicking, you've got the mouse and touchpad. Then you have the devices that act like our senses. The scanner for images, the microphone for sound, and the webcam for video. And finally, for pure control in games, you've got the joystick. Each one is a specialized gateway for a different type of information. Okay, learning all this theory is one thing, but the best way to really make it stick is to put it into practice. So, let's do a quick, simple activity.
You can do this right now wherever you are. First, just look around you. How many input devices can you spot? I bet it's more than you first think. Next, for each one you find, think about one specific thing you do with it. And finally, and this is the important part, ask yourself why that device is the best tool for that job. Why is a keyboard better for writing an essay than a mouse? It's a great way to lock in the concepts.
And to wrap things up, here's something to think about. We went from typing to clicking to touching screens. Now, with things like voice assistants and virtual reality becoming more common, what do you think the next game-changing input device will be? What's the next big thing we'll all be using in a few years? It's exciting to think about. Thanks for joining me.